back to regular season. Where do you think things stand following a couple roster moves, Leagues Cup experience, getting guys back up to speed? Where do you think you are heading into the stretch?
Yeah, I think the position that we're in right now is one that I'm excited about, because I think for the final 9 matches of the season, we have a clear idea about the direction that we want to go. The momentum that we created prior to Leagues Cup and the 2 results that we had versus Nashville and Minnesota was important, and we wanted to keep that going in the Leagues Cup competition, and I think we did that for the most part, with the exception of going down a man so early against Mazatlan. We really did what we wanted to be able to sustain that momentum and say, okay, we're going to come out of that competition and really try to focus on the final 9 matches, making the most of what's left of 2024. The opponents that we have in front of us, starting with FC Dallas, 6 out of the 9 are in a similar position, all fighting to get above the playoff line. I like where our group's at. We're getting healthy, I think, at the right time. The new additions have been really positive for us, and the 3 guys that we signed during this last window, and now we have to go and do a job.
How does Boris fit into all this, and how is he coming along, embracing the system?
Yeah, I mean, Boris, I think, was an important signing for us because he's someone that has a lot of the skill sets that in the middle of the field you need to have. And so between Matty Click, Matty Peltola, Martin Rodriguez has been able to play in there as well, but that's not his natural position. He's done a good job there. We wanted to continue to try to build that in the middle of the field, and he's a guy that really knows how to play in this style of play, gets around very well. And I think he had some good moments in the minutes he played versus Mazatlan in a tough scenario, being down a man. But he's really, I think he's integrated into the team in a good fashion, and we're gonna need him down the stretch.
Jackson's out again?
Yes.
It's not his back, though, right?
No. He just an ankle sprain, so it'll be a couple more weeks for him, and hopefully we get him back with some of the season left.
And is Christian Fletcher still dealing with an ankle?
Yeah, he had his first full week of training this week, so we're building him back up, and I'm excited about where that can go clearly for him, because he's a good young player for us. And then Russell Canales as well. Russell's made a lot of progress. So he had his 3rd surgery, and now he's just starting to get back into full team training. And so we're hopeful, even for Russ. I mean, he's put in so much work to try to get everything reset for his body, and that's not been an easy process for him. But we're hopeful that even he is able to feature by the end of the season.
So the plan originally with him, right, was shut him down for
yes.
a year and let him.
Yeah.
Now there's a sliver of...
Yeah, because the time frame was so that there was actually a window of time that he could return for it to be season ending. It has to be the season's ended. So Connor Antley, for instance, tore his ACL, and there's no return for that. But there was, whenever we put that paperwork in process, there was still an opportunity for him to come back. So we couldn't file it that way. And for Russ, I mean, that's amazing if he's able to play a part in this 2024 season.
Okay, so essentially you haven't ruled him out.
Correct.
It's still...
Yeah, it's still a possibility. Absolutely.
Amazing. And that was the last surgery, the 3rd.
Yes. Yep.
And what's going on with Tyler Miller?
Yeah.
Because he hasn't even been in uniform for a few games. Right?
Yeah, we're still working through that one right now. So I mean, there's some possibilities for him that make sense, but we don't have a clear answer on that right now.
Okay. Got it. All right. Good. Thanks.
All right, now Matt will take some from Zoom.
We'll go to Byron Kerr.
Hey, Coach, thank you very much for the time. Can you talk to me about your philosophy and the organization's philosophy with Leagues Cup? And it really seemed like you guys, from watching, from my standpoint, took this Leagues Cup extremely seriously, and also it was a good chance, as you said, to see some new players get a chance to play as well, and really it helped you guys kind of maintain, I guess, some momentum going into the final 9 games.
Yeah, I mean, that competition was an opportunity to compete for a trophy. So anytime we're involved in any competition, we're always going to put ourselves in a position to try to win. And to your point, I mean, that was one of our goals, is to make sure that the momentum that we built at the end of that stretch in June and July, which was a hard one, we wanted to keep that going and not have, a month of not tasting success. So that was part of it. But then also, I think that competition itself, it's when you look at LAFC and Columbus being in the final, it's not happenstance that these two clubs are in the final. They're the two best clubs in the league, probably with Cincinnati and Inter Miami right there behind them, maybe one or two others. But LAFC and Columbus have shown that they're pushing beyond the rest of us right now. And so that's the standard that we want to get to. Every competition, you want to go and try to compete for a trophy, and we're a ways away from that. But I like the way that we handled ourselves during the competition, and hopefully we can use that momentum down the stretch. I think you're back on mute, Byron.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Myself off.
Yeah, no problem.
I also noticed with the newcomers that the offense seemed a little bit more dynamic, and how important is that with the new guys to help out Benteke in the front line? It's always kind of been something the whole season to try to get the offense going, and how important is that with the new guys to kind of be a part of a force up front?
Yeah, look, we've scored goals consistently the entire year, and I think the question probably that goes in line with what you're talking about is if Christian's not the one that's scoring the goals, being the second leading goal scorer in the league right now, who is he going to be, and who's going to step up to help us in that category? And so in Leagues Cup, you got to see us score 7 goals in 3 games, and that's a big mark. I think it's one of the best marks in that competition. So that's a number of guys stepping up. Daho stepped up, Koo stepped up, Jared Stroud stepped up, and we're going to need all those guys. We're going to need all those guys to be chipping in along with Christian Benteke.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Troy, we have a few submitted via Zoom from Dave Johnson.
Okay.
You now shift your focus to MLS and a few matches left. What should we know about this matchup with FC Dallas?
Yeah, I think the first thing is both sides are in a similar position in the table. They're a little bit ahead of us, but I think also both sides have had some injuries that have been difficult to overcome, and they're getting some guys back from injury themselves. It looks like, as are we. So you're going to see two sides that need to start this last stretch of the season in the right way, and they're very talented. I think that their road form has been difficult this year for them, but at the same time, they're a team that's more than capable of getting a result in any match. So I have a lot of respect for them. We're going to need to be on point in all phases of the game, and we've had a really good week of training. So I'm very optimistic about how we start this last 9 matches, starting with Dallas.
And to follow up, you brought in some recent new signings during this transfer window. Can you talk about their impact and what role they might play the rest of the season?
Yeah, I've talked about them, and I'll say it again. I think all 3 players, David Schnegg, Dominique Badji, and then Boris now coming in, these are all 3 players that can absolutely contribute. They can be guys that can be starters. They can be guys that come on as reserves and make an impact. And that's what we need. We need to continue to improve the quality of our roster. And it just makes everyone better. Every single day you can see that in training as well. The level of competition has gone up significantly in the last month.